I'm Kendra Bailey Morries, and welcome to the Heart of the Home. We are here in Sur La Taub's beautiful kitchen today, and what we're going to be working with on this particular afternoon is blueberries, fresh Virginia blueberries, which are totally in season now and absolutely wonderful. Most people think of blueberries and they immediately go straight to desserts. They want to make pies, which are delicious. They want to do pancakes, you do muffins. But for this particular recipe, we're going to do something just a little bit different. I'm going to do a seared salmon with a fresh blueberry salsa that is accented with a little bit of basil. And it's really, really delicious. It's a different recipe, but I think you'll enjoy it. So what I have here is some really beautiful salmon. You could use any type of fish. You could certainly use any fish from Virginia, a white fish, or some fresh poultry, some Virginia poultry if you like as well. And what I'm going to do is just gently salt this a little bit. You don't need too much salt. And I'm going to give it some black pepper. And it's really important when you're working with fish to salt both sides. And I like my salmon in particular to have the skin on it. It's very, very healthy. And I'm going to sear this in a cast iron pan. And that's going to give it this really, really nice, crispy, delicious outer coating. And just a little on the outside. That'll help draw some of the moisture out. And I have a cast iron pan that's already heated here with just a little bit of canola oil. And you want to use canola oil in a cast iron pan versus olive oil because this pan gets really, really hot and your olive oil might burn. So I'm going to put these skin side down into the pan. I'm going to set this aside. Meanwhile, I'm going to start making the blueberry salsa. And this is a salsa, like I said, that could go on just about anything, but it's really, really wonderful with fresh fish. And I've got some fresh Virginia blueberries that have been chopped up very loosely. You could leave them whole if you want, but I found if you're going to have it as a salsa, they kind of tend to roll around the plate. So you don't necessarily want that. So just give them a rough chop. And I've got some green onions. And I've got the green tops, and I've got the white tops. I've got a little bit of jalapeno pepper. You could use serrano pepper, and peppers are in season in Virginia as well this summer, and they're really wonderful. Some fresh grated ginger, which is grown in Virginia as well, and some lime juice, about a tablespoon or so, or a teaspoon rather. And I've got some fresh honey, and that's going to help balance out a lot of the more piquant flavors that are in here, like the lime juice, for example. It's all about balance. And balsamic vinegar. Again, the honey will balance this out as well. And I'm going to mix this together like so. Now I've got some fresh basil as well, and basil grows in Virginia. I have it in my garden, and it's actually very easy to grow in pots, which is the way I like to grow it, when I can keep the bugs off of it. Now I'm just, to chop fresh herbs, especially like fresh basil, just crinkle it up in a little ball like this. It's very, very easy to do. And I'm just going to give it a mince. And I've got about a 1/4 cup of the basil here. All right, that's done. I'm going to throw that in. You could add other herbs if you like. I think cilantro would do really nicely. That's a very typical salsa flavor. But I really like the freshness of the basil in this. And it's so fragrant right now. It smells amazing. Finally, always taste for your seasonings, and I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. Not too much because I have lime juice in there. And a little bit of black pepper, about a 1/4 teaspoon or so. And this is done. Now at this point, you could probably make this upwards of a day ahead. The longer it sits in the fridge, the better it's going to taste. All those flavors are going to marry together really nicely. You just cover it in some plastic wrap. A couple hours ahead of time is best. And then just kind of bring it back to room temperature before you serve it on top of your fish, because you don't want it to be too cold, because it will kind of shock the flavors there. Meanwhile, I'm going to finish cooking my salmon. And this is sockeye salmon. You can use any type of salmon that you like. I'm going to crank it up a little bit. I'm going to finish cooking these, and then in a few minutes we're going to put them in the oven at 400 degrees, and we're going to let them fully cook all the way through. In the recipe, I don't state that you can flip them over, but if you like that sear on the other side, you certainly can. So I'm going to finish this, and we're going to put them in the oven, and we'll be right back. All right, and these are done. And as you can see, I gave them a little bit of a flip, and so they have a nice crust on the outside. That's totally up to you. They will fully cook regardless in the oven. Be very, very careful when you're working with cast iron in the oven. Extremely hot, so you want to be aware of that. So what I'm going to do here is take a couple of pieces. And we're going to plate these up. Very, very easy. And you can see how beautiful that crispy skin is. Like I said, it's really good for you. And it really, really is nice when it gets that crust. And I'm going to spoon some of our blueberry salsa. Right here on the plate, you could put it on top, however you want to do it. Really smells amazing. A little extra basil for garnish. And there you have it. We have a pan-seared salmon with a blueberry basil salsa made with Virginia blueberries. I'm Kendra Bailey Morries. Let's get cooking.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafarmbureau.org.